Well, guys, I guess this is part 3. I got the action all put back together, which of course I'm sure you had no doubts. It's not very difficult. I did where the receiver pieces, the mounting points held, I did put just a little bit of Loctite between everything as I put it together, because I don't really want it coming apart again. But it is removable Loctite, so it'll just be a little bit of work to get it apart. The trigger assembly is back together. It's just a spring pushing up on the sear that's connected to the trigger with a pin holding the spring in place. So there's really not much to the thing. The bolt, I took it all apart. I tried putting a spacer under the firing pin spring. I put the spacer in, put it all back together, and when I went to cock it, I don't know how well you'll see this, there's a notch in the firing pin there that the sear sits in to hold it cocked. And when I put the spacer in, I could only get it back about that far. And needless to say, the sear wouldn't catch in there to hold the firing pin back. It needed to be back all the way. So, and I could fight with it and get it to, you know, hold it back and push up on the trigger and it'd go in there. But, you know, we can't be doing that. If we're out trying to bag a squirrel for dinner, we just can't do that. So, that's what I wanted. All I could do really, I took the spring and I stretched it a little bit. I stretched it maybe 1/8 of an inch and put it all back together. There isn't much more that I can do for it, really, except for that. The rear sight was getting rusty, so that's back here, sitting there with paint drying on it. I didn't get too fancy. I thought about bluing it. I'm like, really? The whole gun is painted black anyway. I did find, though, as I was looking at the barrel and cleaning everything up in there, the barrel is actually steel lined. It's not an aluminum barrel, so it does have a steel liner in the barrel, and the rifling looks pretty good in it for the amount of rounds that are through it. It's really tight rifling. I want to say there's 7 or 8 lands in there. I didn't count, but there's a lot of them. So the rifling is really tight, and it does get, when it gets dirty, I always shoot a plated bullet as opposed to just a lead. Just because the lead always seems to plug up the rifling, and with the rifling that tight, it's really hard to clean. So I usually go with a plated bullet, and I don't get any leading in the barrel that way. But once the sights are dry, I'll get those back together, and then I'll test fit that scope with those bases on it and see what it does. If it gets it up high enough to load the darn thing, I might just bore sight it in for 50 yards, and once it warms up a little outside, it was a beautiful day today, by the way. It was in the 40s, but it was windy as all get out, so the wind chill kept it down quite a bit. But I'll bore sight it, since I have a bore sighter, and we'll just kind of see where we're at. I've got sight paint, so I can make the sight stand out a little better and stuff, but other than that, the next time you see it, we'll be at the range. Not gonna get into too much more. The bolt goes in, works good. We'll stick everything back together here, or one bolt that goes down in the bottom. And then we got the other one, goes in through the side of the stock here. And that's all there is to this bad boy. A lot of these single shot rifles pretty much work the same. There isn't a whole lot difference in them. Most of them are pretty easy. You can take the bolt out, clean it, The biggest problem I found with them is keeping them clean. This one, like I said, it's got lots of rounds through it. I can't count how many big boxes of, 550 count boxes that I went through with this. But it's been a lot. My Stevens I've been through too, just in that alone. This poor 22 has seen its share of rounds, but I know that 22s, a lot of them will go a lot. You can get 10,000 rounds out of them without any problem. And the bore looks good on it, and the bolt, as long as I can keep the bolt functioning good, shouldn't be an issue. So I'll keep an eye out for a spring. I took a measurement on it, or took a couple of measurements on it, so I'll keep an eye out for one, and I'll see what I can find. If I find any good deals on something, maybe you'll see me take it apart again next spring and put a new spring in it. Other than that, I guess I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'll get the sight back, the rear sight back on it after the paint's all good and dry. And we'll see from there. It dries pretty fast. It's just a plain old cheap flat black paint, so dries pretty quick. I guess that's about it for today. I'll get back to you hopefully soon, and hopefully with some more good videos. If you like this, great. Take the time to sub. If you don't, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of it. I've got some other projects in the works. I have my baluster Molina. I'm thinking about putting some better sights on it. I do use it for USPSA. Hopefully this summer I can get someone to help me out with the camera and take some video of me shooting USPSA and see how some of that looks. It's a really good time. I started doing it this year, and it's a lot of fun. I had a blast. The guys that I shot with were great. So I'm really a novice at it. All my shooting came from my time in the Marine Corps and just range shooting. So the competition to shoot against myself more than anything, to try to better my score each week, is it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really good time. I've learned a lot from the guys that I've been shooting with, and hopefully there's just more to learn. If all goes well, I'll be shooting Winter League up in our Burnsville area, and that should be a lot of fun too. But I don't know that I'll get any video of that, but somebody might post some and I can link to it. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a good time. Anyway, have a good day, and we'll get with you next time. Bye.